Are you applying to Imperial, Babson, or another school and you have to complete the Career Talent interview? You're probably feeling a little bit anxious right now because there is so much that is unknown. What questions will you see? How much time will you have? And how should you respond? I've helped a lot of students through this, so I'll give you questions to practice with, what to expect, and how to prep with confidence. I know it can feel awkward and stressful, but you're not in this alone. Hi, I'm Caitlin Anderson, graduate admissions consultant and Oxford MBA, who has helped hundreds of students win interviews and offers to all the top business schools in the world, including Harvard, Stanford, Oxford, MIT, and Yale, and win over $1 million in scholarships. Before we dive into the school-specific questions and format, I want to give you an introduction to the Career Talent interview, especially for our newer viewers. The Career Talent interview is a part of your master's application that admissions committees at top business schools such as London Business School, Oxford, INSEAD, Imperial College, Yale, Columbia, Babson College, and more will use to understand how you think on your feet and how you present yourself. The way it works is you'll get a link from the admissions committee either in the application itself or immediately after you submit the application or as an invitation to interview. And when you click that link, it takes you to the Career Talent platform. You will then be given a series of verbal questions and possibly a written question that you will not usually know ahead of time, and you will be timed throughout the entire assessment. So you'll be given a certain amount of time to read the question and think about what you want to say, and then the camera will come on automatically, and then you will be given a certain amount of time to respond. And you usually get one try. So that's why the Career Talent interview causes people a lot of anxiety and why it matters that you prepare well for it. Recently, I've been getting several questions about school-specific career interviews. And while I can't share the exact questions that my students have seen in these interviews, I can give you very similar questions that you can use to practice with, and I'll tell you the specific timing that you're going to see in those interviews, or most likely see, because they may change it. And I can tell you the different values that schools have so that you can better understand how to highlight different parts of your background for the best effect. So now I'm going to go through the specifics for 4 schools: Imperial College, Babson College, Oxford Saïd, and London Business School. So let's start with Imperial. Imperial values innovation and quantitative preparation, which includes programming skills. And that can be true for most of their master's programs. So you'll want to highlight those things from your background when you have the chance. In terms of timing, in 2025, Imperial gave my students one question where they had 15 seconds to read the question and then think about their answer. Then the camera came on and they now had 2 minutes to respond. Then my students received 4 additional questions where they had 5 seconds to read the question and think. The camera came on and then they had 1 minute to respond to those 4 questions. They also had a written question. Similar questions to the ones that my students saw include, tell me about your background. What makes you unique? Tell us why you are applying to Imperial. Tell us why you are applying to the MSc in Management, Global Health Management, Investment and Wealth Management. Tell us when you managed a conflict with a classmate or colleague. Tell us when you worked in a diverse team. Tell us about a time when a class project did not go the way you wanted. How did you respond? If you could spend a day at an amusement park, museum, or sport event, which one would you choose and why? Next up, we have Babson College, and their values are entrepreneurial thinking and data-driven decision making. So anytime you're telling a story or you're giving an example, you should find things about your background that would fit into those buckets. In terms of timing, my students received 4 questions in total, and they were each 30 seconds to read and think, and then 1 minute to respond. Similar questions to the ones my students saw for Babson include: tell me about your career goals. How can Babson help you with your career in the short term and long term? Tell us about a time you faced an ethical dilemma. How did you handle it? Tell us about your quantitative skills. Why do you want to study at Babson? What other universities are you considering, and what is your criteria for selecting an MSBA, Master of Finance program? Next, we have Oxford Saïd. And Oxford really values social impact and academic excellence. So those are the things that you want to pull out from your background if you get the Kira Talent interview. In terms of timing, Oxford gave students 3 questions, 20 seconds to read the question and think, and then 1 minute to respond. Similar questions to the ones that my students have seen include: tell us about a time when you had to collaborate with a difficult group. How did you handle it? Tell us about a time when you faced a difficult challenge. How did you manage it? Tell us about a time when you had a lot of responsibilities. How did you organize them? Tell us about a time when you executed an operational strategy. How did you do it? Finally, we have London Business School. Now, they value professional impact and having a variety of experiences. So remember that when you're giving stories or examples from your background. For their timing, they will give you 2 questions. You get 45 seconds to read and think, and then you have 90 seconds to respond. Now, the nice thing about London Business School is they do give you the first question that they're going to ask you, and this is the same question that every applicant is going to be asked, so I'm going to share it with you. They ask, what would you gain from the London Business School MBA program that you won't gain from another MBA program? For the second randomized question, here are some similar questions to the ones that my students have seen. How did you handle getting critical feedback? Tell us about a time when you worked with a dysfunctional team. How will you make use of the flexibility of the MBA program? So let's talk about patterns across schools. The first thing I can tell you is that the kinds of questions will be very similar. You'll see school specific, like why this school, why this program. You'll see technical questions about your quantitative skills and programming languages you know. And then you'll see behavioral questions. So tell us about a time when you faced a difficult challenge. Tell us about a time when you failed. Tell us about a time when you innovated. Those are behavioral questions. And then you'll see very random questions like compare apples to oranges or compare doors to windows. These kinds of variety of questions are meant to throw you off. So you need an excellent structure. I make several other videos about how specifically to structure your answers for Kira. So you should check out those videos that I'm going to link to here above. And in the meantime, I'll just give you a quick introduction to the frameworks that I teach my students. I tell them to always use a 3-part framework, which includes your introduction, your body, and your conclusion. Now, when you're telling a story for a behavioral question or you're giving evidence for a claim that you just made, you want to use what I call the STARL method. So look at those videos and learn more about how to use those frameworks for your Kira answers. I'll give you a few final tips for the Kira interview. Number 1, you need to practice out loud and with a timer. Number 2, you need to get your setup right. And I do other videos on how to get the setup to be very good, and you can watch those to learn more. Number 3 is to be authentic, not scripted. And number 4 is to focus on clarity and confidence. That's it for now. I would love to hear from you, so if you want to comment the school that you are applying to below, then I can tailor my future videos to it. I offer Kira interview services through one-on-one sessions and through the videos and materials in my on-demand program. So you can check out the links to those resources below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.